Tennessee loses on Saturday and plummets 4 spots in the college football playoff rankings, still in the top 12, but out of the field of play for now. I'll explain. More reaction to the college football playoff rankings here on a bonus Locked On Vols.
You are Locked On Vols, your daily podcast on the Tennessee Volunteers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday evening, Wednesday morning, whenever you're listening to the show. A little bonus content here on Locked On Vols. We'll have our regular planned scheduled Wednesday show for tomorrow, but wanted to get something out there here following the college football playoff rankings that were updated here on a Tuesday night. I'm Eric Kane. This is Locked On Vols. Appreciate you guys making us your first listen, your first watch each and every single day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And thank you everydayers for making this show what it is. All right, so for me, the updated college football playoff rankings, no shock. This is kind of what I thought. Tennessee comes in ranked number 11. So Tennessee drops 4 spots from the first 2 weeks where Tennessee was ranked number 7. Drops 4 spots to number 11. But like Georgia last week, okay, you got to remember the 5 highest conference champs get in. So the 4 highest conference champs get a first round bye. That enables a group of 5 to get in there as well. So because you have those automatic bids, just because Tennessee's ranked number 11, in this scenario, doesn't mean Tennessee's in the field, and that's kind of where we are. But we talked about this. We talked about this, earlier on. I guess it was Tuesday's show. What needed to happen and kind of where we thought Tennessee would be ranked. Georgia moves up 2 spots from number 12 to number 10 following a win over Tennessee. Tennessee's then there at number 11. Boise State is in there at number 12. But, again, because it's the 4 highest conference champions, Boise State is ranked 12th, but they're seeded 4th. Seeded 4th and getting a first-round bye. SMU's 13, BYU is number 14. But because BYU is the projected conference champ of the Big 12, BYU is seeded in the field. So it's kind of wild and wacky here, just seeing how all this stuff kind of plays out right now. BYU's ranked 12th, and it would play Ohio State in terms of, Ohio State would actually be the home team in that situation. BYU would be on the road. But anyway, if you're watching on YouTube right now, I'm going to flash up the graphic and kind of show you exactly what these rankings look like. Oregon's at number 1, stays the same, 11-0 is the record. Ohio State is ranked number 2. It stays the same, 9-1 record. Texas stays the same at number 3, 9-1 record. Penn State at 4, Indiana at 5, Penn State 9-1, Indiana 10-0. And so essentially the top 5 in the college football playoff rankings have stayed the same since last week. Here's where it gets interesting. Number 6, Notre Dame moves up 2 spots with a 9-1 record. At number 7, Alabama moves up 3 spots with an 8-2 record. Miami, representing the ACC at 9-1, is at number 8. It moves up 1 spot. Ole Miss jumps up 2 spots from 11 to 9 with an 8-2 record. And as I mentioned, Georgia moves up 2 spots from 12 to 10, 8-2 record. Tennessee falls back 4 spots from 7 to 11 with an 8-2 record. And then Boise State at 9-1, SMU, then BYU. Off the top, okay, what's frustrating if you're a Tennessee fan, okay, what's frustrating is you see Alabama that has the same 8-2 record that Tennessee has, and Tennessee owns a head-to-head over Alabama, and Alabama sitting there at number 7. So that's the frustrating part, and that's nothing new. We knew this is what it was going to be. That's why it says, a couple of weeks ago, whenever the first rankings came out, where you start doesn't matter, it's where you finish. No. Where you start absolutely matters. Absolutely matters. That's why Texas, next week, if it loses to Texas A&M, I don't know if Texas would fall out of the rankings because Texas is so highly ranked. So those are the rankings right now. But again, because the top 5 conference champions have to get in, those are automatic bids, it messes up the seeding a little bit. So Oregon, which is projected to win the Big 12, the Big 10, is the 1 seed. Ohio State, who is also from the Big 10, just because it's ranked number 2, it slides down to number 5. Texas is the projected SEC champion. It's ranked 3rd, but it would be the number 2 seed. Penn State, which is ranked number 4, It is also from the Big Ten, the third Big Ten team in the top 4 of these rankings. It would be seeded 6 behind Ohio State at 5. Indiana, again from the Big Ten, is the 4th Big Ten team in the top 5. It ranks 5, but it's seeded 7th because, again, you got kind of a logjam there. Notre Dame is an independent 6th seed. It's going to be seeded 8th, or ranking number 6, going to be seeded 8th. Alabama from the SEC, ranked 7th, seeded 9th. Miami, first ACC team. It is the projected ACC winner, so either Miami or SMU, who wins the ACC championship. It is a one-bid league, in my opinion. Right now, they're projecting Miami, so Miami's ranked 8th, but it's seeded number 3. So Miami would get a first-round bye in this scenario. Interesting stuff there. Ole Miss, number 9 ranked, 10 seed. Georgia, 10th ranked, 11th seed. Tennessee's the odd man out right here. Tennessee's at number 11. Tennessee, because you already have 11 seeds, okay? Because you have 11 seeds, there's no way to go. You've got to make room for 2 more conference champions. That first conference champion that's going to bypass Tennessee is Boise State, which is ranked number 12. This is the group of 5. This is going to be the projected group of 5 champion, ranked 12th, but because it's the third highest ranked conference champion, BYU is going to move all the way up there to the number 4 seed. And Boise State. BYU, which is ranked number 14, is in this exercise is ranked number 12, ranked number 14, but it's guaranteed a spot in the field. So BYU would be that 12th and final seed, BYU or Colorado. So I know that's a lot is kind of thrown at you right now, but that's just kind of the way it looks. Again, I'm going to flash this graphic up one more time to show you what the rankings look like. Oregon there at the top, the top 5 stayed the same. Notre Dame moved up 2 spots. Alabama moved up 3 spots. Miami moved up 1 spot. Ole Miss moved up 2 spots. Georgia moved up 2 spots. Tennessee moved down 4 spots. Boise State moved up 1 spot. SMU moved up 1 spot. And BYU moved down 8 spots. So, again, ranking versus seeding. It's really kind of confusing, but once you watch enough of this, and I know we're in the first year of the expanded college football playoffs, but you'll kind of get the hang of it a little bit. I'm obviously still getting the hang of it here. But this is kind of exactly where we thought it was going to be. The first, teams out, if you will, are, the Tennessee Volunteers. Tennessee's there at number 11. Tennessee will be the first team out. Again, since number 14 BYU is projected to earn an automatic bid as the 5th highest ranked conference champion. The buys don't necessarily mean for the Power 4, okay? Because in this situation, Boise State, which is representing group of 5, is ranked higher than BYU, the projected Big 12 winner. So Boise State would get that bye at number 4, and BYU would just get in the field, but it would be there at number 12. So this is what we thought. This is exactly what we thought. There's no surprises. Now, you can be frustrated that Tennessee is ranked below Alabama. Head-to-head's got to matter, in my opinion, but it doesn't by the committee. Ole Miss is ahead of Georgia. They value head-to-head, right? They're like, well, Georgia beat Tennessee, but we can't put Georgia up too high because Ole Miss just beat Georgia. So they're valuing head-to-head with Ole Miss over Georgia at the 9th ranked and the 10th ranked, despite both of those teams having 8-2 records. Alabama obviously beat Georgia. Alabama's ahead. So the only one that this is not playing fair to in terms of the head-to-head is Alabama, 4 spots ahead of Tennessee. In fact, Tennessee was ranked number 7 the last couple of weeks. Alabama takes that spot. Alabama's got 4 ranking spots ahead of Tennessee, despite the Volunteers owning the head-to-head, and Tennessee and Alabama and Ole Miss and Georgia, for that matter, all having identical 8-2 records. So we can be frustrated at that, but I think you'd be kind of silly to think that Tennessee was still going to be ranked ahead of Alabama coming into the week, coming up that loss, just because of how the committee views Alabama and what the committee says about Tennessee and the lack of the strength of schedule. So what is the path to the college football playoffs for Tennessee? Sure, Tennessee's ranked inside the top 12, but that doesn't matter because Tennessee's the first team out. Still in a very good position, and Tennessee's going to have a chance to make the field. I'm going to tell you how that would work when we come back right here on Locked On Vols, a little bonus content. Tennessee fans, listen up. You need to download the Roy app. You've heard us talk about it, Roy, this season, how it's revolutionizing the NIL industry. Roy allows you, the fan, to have a say in who gets NIL money. And here's what I absolutely love about Roy. You get your money back if that player transfers. Roy is helping us keep our team intact, and it's actually really good for the game long term. The Spotlight Roy Locked On Player of the Week this week is Max Gilbert for the University of Tennessee. We talked about him on a couple shows ago. A career high, a career long 52-yard field goal in Athens between the hedges in that environment, coming off a 51-yarder last week against Mississippi State. Max Gilbert is our Roy Locked On Player of the Week. Download Roy app or go to joinroy.com today. Use the promo code Locked On. Every athlete from every team is there. No purchase necessary, void where prohibited. Go to joinroy.com for full terms. Roy, support the players, and you can change the game. That is Roy. All right, I want to say about our friends over at Mint Mobile. I love a deal as much as the next guy, but I'm not going to I'm not going to walk to school both ways uphill in snow, right? I mean, you know that old saying. It's got to be easy for me. No hoops, no BS. So when Mint Mobile said that it was easy to get wireless for $15 a month with the purchase of a 3-month plan, I called them on it. Turns out it really is that easy to get wireless for $15 a month. The longest part of the process, the time that I spent on the phone on hold breaking up with my previous provider. All plans come with high-speed data, unlimited talk and text delivered to the nation's largest 5G network. You can own your phone. You can use your phone with any Mint Mobile plan. Bring your phone number along with your existing contacts as well. To get the new customer deal in your new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/lockedoncollege. That is mintmobile.com/lockedoncollege. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/lockedoncollege. $45 up front, payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customer on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower than 40 GB on unlimited plan. Additional tax and fees and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for more details. All right, guys, welcome back into a little bonus content here of Locked On Vols Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning. And don't forget, your regular scheduled Wednesday program will come out at 6 or 5 o'clock Eastern time Wednesday morning. So if you're listening to this and want more content, there's another show out there for Wednesday, and I appreciate you guys for being a part of the show, making the show what it is. All right, so what is the path for Tennessee to get into the college football playoff? As we talked about, and as we showed in segment number 1, the rankings 1 through 25. If you're looking here on YouTube right now, 1 through 12, 1 through 14, really, because BYU is ranked number 14, but it does get the field because it's the 5th highest conference champion. It would either be BYU or Colorado for the Big 12. Those two teams are going to square off in that conference championship game. You would assume, unless Kansas spoils that for Colorado. But for Tennessee this week, over the next 2 weeks, it's not insurmountable, in my opinion, okay? Only a few things happen, really, maybe even one thing. First and foremost, you need to be rooting for Army. Army takes on Notre Dame this weekend. Army ranked in the college football playoff rankings, I believe. I think it's at number 19 or number 20. Let's look it up. Number 19 right here. 9-0 is the record, okay? And you need Army to beat Notre Dame this week, because that would give Notre Dame 2 losses, and Notre Dame, coming from an independent conference, as in the eyes of Heather Dinich, actually, over on the selection show, or on the ranking show, she said she doesn't believe Notre Dame can survive 2 losses. Obviously, Northern Illinois gave them their first loss as well. So if Notre Dame were to lose to Army, I think Notre Dame is out. And, of course, Notre Dame came in at number 6 in the rankings and is the 8th seed. So, number 1, you want to root against Notre Dame, and Army, which is the 19th ranked team in the college football playoff rankings, has an excellent opportunity to do just that. Number 2, in my opinion, Ohio State. You want Ohio State to just run away from Indiana, okay? And it's tough, and I understand this conversation. It's why, I give a lot of grief to the committee members, and is what it is, but it is kind of a thankless job. You have Indiana from the Big Ten. All it can do is play who's on the schedule, just like Tennessee early in the season. All it can do is play what's on the schedule. And Tennessee had no control over Oklahoma being bad this year, over NC State being bad this year. Tennessee had no control. Well, technically it had control over Florida being its second best win if Tennessee would have handled business against Georgia. But you can only play who's on your schedule, and that's what Indiana's done, and Indiana has a 10-0 record. However, your strength of schedule has got to matter at some point. You mean to tell me Indiana, with the 106th ranked strength of schedule in the nation, would be a favorite on a neutral field against these teams from the SEC who are ranked behind them? Alabama, no chance. Ole Miss, no chance. Georgia, no chance. Tennessee, no chance. Just absolutely not. So Ohio State not only needs to win, because my fear is if Ohio State wins by 2 touchdowns, 14 points, my fear is the committee, which is headlined by the Michigan AD from the Big Ten, would say, oh, well, that's not a horrible loss, just because I don't think Tennessee's loss at Georgia was horrible. It was 2 touchdowns. I could see Indiana staying in the field of play if they lose by only 14 points. Now, Indiana might win that game. Some people are saying I'm lowballing Indiana. They're the real deal. We'll see. I have no faith in Indiana because I look at its track record and I think it's trash. But I could be wrong. I've been wrong many, many times before, and that's okay. It's why you play the games. This weekend, Ohio State at home against Indiana. Okay? If Indiana loses by more than 2 touchdowns, I think they are out. I mean, there's no justification. There's no reason anybody can point to that says Indiana should still be in the field. So Tennessee fans need to be big Ohio State Buckeye fans this week, all right? Number 1, Army against Navy. Number 2, Indiana loses in a landslide to Ohio State. Number 3, Florida. You want to root on the Gators? It might feel weird. Florida against Ole Miss. Ole Miss, if it loses again, obviously 3rd loss, it would be out. Florida, who just beat LSU. Florida, who's a very dynamic and different football team under Billy Napier here of late. Florida, who is surging with DJ Lagway, the 5-star freshman quarterback. Florida, who's got a good run game all of a sudden. And Florida, who's playing some good defense all of a sudden. Florida's playing different types of football. Can Florida beat Ole Miss? Yes, I think it can. Will it? I don't know. But Florida, an opportunity to help Tennessee by knocking off Ole Miss. There's a couple of other things, obviously, that you could be paying attention to, and I'll probably write a story on this later in the week in terms of just all the different scenarios. But those are the top 3, in my opinion, that could really do wonders for Tennessee. And again, you don't need all 3 of those to hit, in my opinion. You don't need 2 of those to hit, in my opinion. You might just need 1. But 2 of those would be great just to give yourself a little insurance. Tennessee, in the meantime, needs to beat the crap out of UTEP this week, and honestly needs to win convincingly on the road at Vanderbilt, which that's going to be a home game for Tennessee, in my opinion. So exactly what we expected, at least exactly what I expected. I thought Tennessee would be ranked number 11, but be on the outside looking in as the first team out, and that is exactly where we stand through the 3rd week of the college football playoff rankings. You don't control your own destiny any longer, but you are certainly not out of it. We'll continue to track this all throughout the month of November and, of course, throughout the rest of the regular season right here on Locked On Vols. Hey, still got a good Wednesday show coming up. Chat with Matt Ray, chat with Josh Ward. A lot of great stuff right here on Locked On Vols. But I appreciate you guys tuning in to this bonus content here on a Tuesday night, Locked On Vols.